Good evening. Uh, so, uh, how's everyone? Good evening. It's Black Saturday, and we're staring down the barrel of another extension of the ECQ. So, medyo marami po tayong pag-uusapan. Um, and I thought it was also a great opportunity kung pwede nating pag-usapan yung mga pangkaraniwan tinatanong nyo sa akin. No? Marami, very active yung social media kapag pinag-uusapan natin ng politika, lalo na ang nalalapit na 2022 elections. So, I mean, ECQ naman dito sa NCR, Holy Week then, we're at the tail end of the Holy Week, coming into Easter Sunday. So, everyone's home, nothing much happening, might as well talk about things that matter to the nation. So, dyan lang po kayo. We'll be right back.
Radyo COMELEC sa Quarant Talk.
All right. So, we have a lot of things to talk about today. Napakaraming issues ang talagang bumabagabag sa mga kababayan natin, particularly sa social media. And so we're gonna tackle at least 3 of the major topics na paulit-ulit na pinag-uusapan ngayon sa social media, and I think everyone will benefit from a little clarity on, no? So yung unang-una, of course, yung issue ng premature campaigning. So premature campaigning, basically, what's the deal with that? Recently, it's been in all of the news na merong mga politiko na probably benefiting from their supporters putting up these huge posters, these huge billboards. Some have been reported as far as I don't know, Kalayaan Island, maybe, I don't know. Basta malalayong lugar, I think sa tabi ng kalye, sa tabi ng highway, may mga malalaking run sararan na posters dyan, ano? So yeah, I'm referring to that, no, just in case there was some doubt as to what I'm talking about. So that's the main issue here. So ang question dito palagi is, ito ba ay premature campaigning na? More precisely, premature campaigning ba ito na sa punto na pwede nang ma-disqualify or makasuhan ng electoral offense ang sino man, no? Unfortunately, nasagot ko na to many times over, paulit-ulit, and medyo, a lot of people don't like the answer. But the answer is very simple. Wala pang premature campaigning dito, no? Okay, so you have these posters that say "Run Sara Run." You have your face plastered all over things. So let's define these things muna, no? Walang pinag-iba po yan doon sa mga posters na mukha mo lang ang nakalagay, or sa posters na nakalagay "Vote for me", or sa mga posters na nakalagay ang pangalan mo lang, or may litrato mo, or may, again, any combination of that, no? So name, mukha, picture ng face mo, or even action shots of you, or whatever, or mayroong words na "vote for me" or "vote", kasi yan palagi ang excuse na ginagamit ng mga tao. So pag walang vote, hindi daw yan premature campaigning, etc. That is nonsense. Okay? So yan pare-pareho lahat yan. Okay? Pare-pareho lahat yan. Posters with the name, with the image, with the words "vote" or words to that effect. They're all in the same category of things that you see now with increasing frequency. Now, anong tawag mo dyan sa mga yan? Well, it depends. No? It depends. Let's talk about it first on the basis of yung gut feel natin. What do we call that sort of thing? Obviously, that sort of thing is propaganda materials. Okay? Campaign materials yan. There's no getting around that. Yan talaga yon. Why? Because those materials are intended to fix in the mind of the voter yung pangalan, yung mukha, and the fact that you're running for office sa susunod na elections. So, by that definition, yes, absolutely, yan ay propaganda materials. All right. But take that to the next level. The next level of analysis for those things is it legal? Is it legal to do that right now? The answer again is yes. Why? The answer is yes because right now, hindi pa siya bawal for candidates. It gets a little tricky at this point. But at this point, try to remember what day it is. Okay? Today is 4/3/21, right? It's April 3, 2021. We haven't had the filing of certificates of candidacy yet. We haven't entered the election year yet, so wala pang election period. We haven't gotten to the campaign period yet. Ibig sabihin, malayo pa ang halalan. Malayo pa. It's a long way off, right? So right now, pag naglabas ka ng poster na ganyan, that activity falls under freedom of expression. Okay? I know
Hindi ako makapagparehistro kasi yung parents mo nga hindi bumoboto. Ako pa kaya?
Hindi ako makapagparehistro kasi nakakatamad tsaka wala akong pamasahe.
Hindi ako makapagparehistro kasi may pasok lagi.
Hindi ako makapag-rehistro kasi wala akong kasama.
Hindi ako makapagparehistro kasi baka mahirapan lang ako.
Hindi ako makapagparehistro. Ayaw ko payagan ni ma'am.
Hindi ako makapagparehistro kasi ang dami ko inaalaga ang anak. Tsaka hindi ko alam kung paano.
Hindi ako makapagparehistro dahil
Hindi ako makapagparehistro
kasi hindi ako makapagparehistro kasi
Sa bagay, bakit naman kayo magpaparehistro? Busy kayong tao, hindi ba? Bakit naman kayo maglalaan ng oras para magparehistro? Hayaan nyo na lang na ibang tao ang bumoto o pumili ng ating mga leader mula barangay hanggang Malacanang. Pwede namang maging walang pake, hindi ba? Bakit? Concern nyo ba kung palpak ang pamumuno ng mga taong nailuklok sa pwesto? Pakialam nyo ba kung hindi magandang serbisyo na ibinibigay sa taong bayan ng mga halal na opisyal na yan? Total, hindi naman kayo maapektuhan, hindi ba? Hindi nga ba? Kapag nagkalat ang basura sa kalye dahil naging pabaya ang palakad sa lungsod, pangit tingnan, mabaho, pagmumulan parang sakit, hindi ba perwisyo rin sa'yo yun? Kapag nahirapan ka magsimula ng negosyo dahil sa mga palpak na pulisiya ng LGU, hindi ba't talo ka dun? Kapag ninakaw ang pera ng bayan ng mga hinalal na opisyal, hindi ba't pera mo rin yun? Pero kung may pakialam ka sa nangyayari sa ating bansa, kung gusto mo ring magkaroon ng boses sa mga isyong hinaharap natin, at kung gusto mo maging bahagi sa pagpili kung sinong dapat na mamuno sa atin, alam nyo na ang dapat nyong gawin. #magparehistro ka.
Teka, wait. Pwede na ba ako magparehistro?
Kung ikaw naman ay 18 years old and above, maaari kang magparehistro bilang regular na botante. Hindi na kailangan magparehistro ang rehistrado na.
Paano magparehistro?
Ayun ba? Madali lang. Una, pumunta sa opisina ng election officer sa munisipyo o syudad kung saan kayo nakatira. Para sa mga aplikanteng senior citizen, persons with disability, at heavily pregnant women, may itatalagang express lane para sa inyo. Magdala ng valid ID para maberipika ang inyong pagkakakilanlan at bilang katunayan na rin na kayo ay residente ng inyong lugar. Matapos ito, mag-fill out ng 3 kopya ng application form. Kukunan din kayo ng biometrics gamit ang voter registration machine. Matapos ito, ibibigay sa inyo ang acknowledgement receipt bilang patunay na nag-apply kayo for registration. So ano pang hinihintay nyo? Magparehistro na! Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, bisitahin ang www.comelec.gov.ph at mga social media accounts ng COMELEC. Isang paalala mula sa COMELEC at ng himpilang ito.
All right. Thank you very much. That was Attorney Vince Tanyada, by the way. If you're on TikTok, you can follow him at Vince Tanyada on TikTok. He's got a thing going where he explains weird laws. So it's very informative and very fun. All right. So balik tayo sa premature campaigning. As I was saying, when they do it now, freedom of expression pa rin yan. All right. Again, I'm saying na marami nagagalit when they hear that, but try to think of it this way. Sa tinagal-tagal ko dito sa COMELEC, wala pa ako narinig taong nagalit na ginawa yan ng kakampi niya. Pag kakampi niya yung gumagawa, they keep quiet about it. Pero pag ginagawa ng kalaban, galit na galit. Alright? So, bottom line, it is a person's right at this stage na malayo pa yung elections, malayo pa yung election season, malayo pa yung election period. It's their right to spend money to promote a person, to promote someone's victory or defeat in a way that is unmistakably election propaganda. Pwede yan. Allowed yan. Okay? So, someone asked me on Twitter, pwede ba namin gawin yan for our candidates? As if challenging me to take them to task for it. Unfortunately for him or her, whatever, the answer is yes. Yes, you can do that for the people that you like. Okay? In fact, by some definition, dapat ganun ang ginagawa ng mga botanting mulat, no? They should be actively promoting the candidacies of the people that they want to run. All right? Of course, you have to take into consideration, syempre, yung the fact na dapat fair ang laban. And that's where the problem starts. Because you know that this unbalances the playing field, ang hirap tanggapin sa loob natin that this is a fair application of the rules. All right? Totoo po yan. And that's the third level of analysis here. Unfortunately, the rules as they exist, dyan nagkakaproblema. That's where the huge flaw is. Ordinarily, doing things like this prior to the elections are unfair. Okay? It is unfair. Okay? Yung ginagawa nilang run sararan, yung ginagawa ng kung sino man, if you do it for your candidate, it's gonna be the same thing. It's still gonna be unfair. Okay? It's technically legal. It's not prohibited by law. It's not punishable by law. It's an expression of it's freedom of expression, but it is still morally unfair. Okay? Bakit? Kasi obviously, kung may pera kang gumawa ng ganyan, then that's what you do so that pagdating ng campaign period, na prime mo na yung isip ng mga tao. 'Di ba? Yan yung technique diyan, yan yung strategy diyan. Yan yung kinasasama ng loob ng election managers all over the world na yung pera na ginagamit sa politika, yan ang nagiging resulta. Kawawa yung magagaling pero walang pera kasi hindi sila nakaka-break into that arena. Now, I said, the problem lies in the law. Why? Because the law says, well, medyo komplikado, but try to stay with me here. Number one, campaigning is an activity that has to be done by or on behalf of someone who is a candidate. Ano yung kandidato? Ang kandidato nakapag-file ng COC at nag-start na yung campaign period nang hindi siya natatanggal sa pagkakandidato niya. Alright? Ibig sabihin, kung nag-file ka ng October 1 or October 8, kasi October 1 to 8 ang filing, pag nag-file ka ng October, hindi ka pa tinuturing na kandidato ng batas. Bakit? Kasi kailangan mag-start yung campaign period. Okay? Bago ka ituring na kandidato ng batas. Alright? So, kung hindi ka pa kandidato, kahit anong gagawin mo, doesn't really fit into the technical definition of campaigning, hindi ba? Okay. Pangalawa, nakalagay din sa batas na lahat ng pwedeng ipagbawal sa kandidato, pwede lamang ipagbawal sa simula ng campaign period. Think about that for a while and you'll realize how absurd it actually is. Absurdo talaga siya. Ang sabi ng batas, yung mga pinagbabawal sa'yo bilang kandidato ay hindi pwedeng ipagbawal hanggat hindi nagsisimula ang campaign period. So let's talk about premature campaigning. Ang premature campaigning, by definition, premature nga, di ba? Ay yung pangangampanya na nagaganap bago mag-start ang campaign period. Ang problema, sabi ng batas, hindi nga yan pwedeng ipagbawal sa'yo hanggat hindi nagsisimula yung campaign period eh. So, by that definition, ang premature campaigning ay hindi nagiging election offense hanggat hindi nagsisimula ang campaign period. Ano namang katangahan yun? Diba? Premature campaigning, hindi pwedeng kasuhan hanggat hindi nagsisimula ang campaign period. Paano mo patatawaging premature campaigning yun? Nagsimula na nga yung campaign period. So, yan ang estado ng batas. That's in Republic Act 9369 if you want to look it up. Okay? Yung sinabi ko sa yung explanation, yan din yung pinakabuod nung Peñera versus COMELEC. Alright? Again, look it up, please. Ngayon, palaging nagagalit ang mga tao, inutil daw ang COMELEC, walang magawa, walang ngipin, walang pangil, ganyan, whatever. Well, yes. Bakit? Kasi hindi gumagawa ng batas ang COMELEC. Ang COMELEC ay tagapagpatupad ng batas. We are enforcers of election laws. We do not make election laws. All right? We do not make election laws. So, sabi ng Korte Suprema nagsabi doon sa kaso ng Peñera, sabi niya, I'm paraphrasing. Now, we know what this looks like. We know that this ruling will operate in this way. Again, creating a loophole for premature campaigning. Pero sabi ng Supreme Court, but the solution is not with this court. Hindi yung Supreme Court ang gagawa ng solusyon. Bakit? Kasi hindi pwedeng palitan ng Supreme Court yung batas through interpretation. Kasi malinaw yung batas eh. So sabi ng Supreme Court, ang may solution dyan, ang Kongreso. So Congress has to make a new law to fix this. Okay? That's basically what the Supreme Court said. So, that's what the COMELEC is saying also. The solution is legislative. Now, sabi ng tao, ay hindi, dapat sinasabi ng COMELEC. As if hindi namin sinasabi. Okay? In fact, the latest na sinabi natin yan sa COMELEC sa isang official hearing ng Kongreso, nung kinonfirm yung aming bagong hirang na commissioner. Si Commissioner Amy Ampolocchio, during her hearing, she identified that as one of the policy priorities na dapat sana pagtuunan ng pansin ng Kongreso is to close that loophole. Okay? I know it's a small comfort for us to say na we bring it up with Congress because we do. And ultimately, it's Congress that has to make a solution. Okay? I hope we get that clear. Talagang ganyan po ang sitwasyon ngayon. There's a huge loophole for premature campaigning. It allows all of these things to happen. All right? The solution, unfortunately, is with Congress. Congress has to pass a law to address it. All right? And the COMELEC has been front and center pushing Congress to make an amendment. And in fact, recently, a bill was filed in the Senate. No? A bill was filed amending RA 9369. Unfortunately, wala pang traction yung bill na yon. Okay? So, I hope that's pretty clear. And if there are any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments and sasagutin natin maya-maya lang. The second thing that's most talked about in the past few days is whether or not matutuloy pa yung 2022 elections. To be honest, why are we still even asking this? Bakit pa to kailangan itanong? Naiintindihan ko, maraming matatakot na baka hindi matuloy ang halalan. But look at the facts. Number one, The 1987 Constitution says that elections in the Philippines must be held every second Monday of May every 3 years. 6 for president. Okay? The last presidential elections we had was in 2016. So we're up for a presidential elections in 2022. Okay? Nakaprogram na yan sa ating saligang batas. Okay? The only way to change that is if you amend the Constitution itself. Which brings me to point number 2. If somehow a political amendment or an amendment to the Constitution is made to change the date of elections, kakailanganin pa rin yan ng halalan para maratipika. A change in the Constitution, an amendment to the Constitution, will still have to be submitted to the people through a plebiscite called for that purpose. Which means, the situation there is, kung gusto mong i-postpone yung elections, you're going to have to amend the Constitution and then you'll have to call an elections to cancel the elections. Again, how stupid is that? Alright? So, that route, we do not see any possible route towards postponement like that. So, which leaves COVID. Yun yung talagang malaking pangamba ng maraming tao. Ang talagang malaking pangamba ng maraming tao ay dahil may COVID, baka gamitin ang COVID as an excuse to postpone the elections. And I'm here to tell you that the COMELEC sees no reason why the elections have to be postponed because of COVID. Remember, last March 13, merong COVID pa rin, meron pa rin problema, may health crisis pa rin. Ginawa natin yung Palawan plebiscite and it was successful. Naglatag tayo ng mga anti-COVID measures dyan that have so far proven to be effective. No? Wala tayong kaso na nababalitaan na nagkaroon ng COVID nung last Palawan elections. Okay? None that have been connected to the Palawan plebiscite directly. And we hope that doesn't change, and we're continuously monitoring Palawan pa rin because that's part of the job. But again, at this point, we don't see a reason why the elections have to be postponed. All right? Now, the final thing that I would like to take up is yung composition ng Commission on Elections. A lot of people have been making a big deal of the fact that by 2022, the commissioners will 100% be appointed by the sitting president. Okay? Mr. Duterte will have appointed by 2022 all 7 commissioners, assuming na buuin niya yung 7 commissioners. Right? Do you know when the last time that happened was? The last time that happened was in 2016 when the commission was composed of all appointees of then President Benigno Aquino. Second, okay? Benigno Aquino II. So the point I'm trying to make here is that this is not a novel situation. Hindi ito bagong sitwasyon sa COMELEC. Alright? Because of the way these appointments are scheduled, because of the way that the commissioners' terms are staggered, you know, inevitably, kapag maghahalalan, a majority of the commissioners, if not all, will have been appointed by a sitting president. Okay? Hindi ibig sabihin unfair na kagad yung komisyon. Okay? Again, nangyari ito noong 2016. The commission was 100% appointed by then President Benigno Aquino II. And now, in 2022, yes, the commissioners will again be 100% appointed by the sitting president. President Rodrigo Duterte. Okay? So, walang tulak kabigin yan. It's the same situation. Now, there are some who would say, well, it's a question of the personality involved. That's unfair. Okay? Because remember, it's not the person who appointed the commissioners who will be sitting in the commission. It's the commissioners themselves. Okay? So, to say that the commissioners na nakaupo ngayon have somehow compromised their integrity just because of who put them there is to give short shrift to the commissioners who are sitting now. Okay? You're selling them short. And for what? For no reason other than kasi inappoint sila ng taong hindi mo gusto. Okay? Because remember, these same arguments were being made back in 2016. Back in 2016, people were also saying na dahil inappoint yung mga yan ng sitting president, we cannot expect a fair COMELEC. But they did get a fair COMELEC, didn't they? Okay? And it will be the same now. Again, why? Because ultimately, it's not about who appoints these people. It's about the appointees themselves. Right? Second, remember that these appointees are not simply by whim. Hindi lang yan kung sino lang maisip ng appointing authority, ikaw na, go ka na. Automatic. Hindi ganon. Dumadaan po ito sa ating tinatawag na Commission on Appointments. Sa Commission on Appointments, ano po yan? Bipartisan, well, hindi naman bipartisan kasi hindi naman tayo two-party, hindi tayo two-party system. Multilateral ang composition ng ating Commission on Appointments. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang puro kaalyado yan ng isang partido. Mayroong oposisyon dyan. And kaalyado, oposisyon, they all have equal opportunities to speak on a person's appointment. Pwedeng questionin, pwedeng harangin, in fact, pwedeng patayin yung appointment. Okay? Pwedeng gawin yon. There is a rule, there's a kill switch in the rules on Commission on Appointments na pwedeng mangyari yan. Okay? But the fact na dumadaan yung ating appointee doon sa proseso na yon means bukas ang appointing authority to the possibility na i-reject yung appointment niya. So paano masasabi na lock yan, na automatic na yan? Hindi yan automatic. Maari talaga, it's a very real possibility na hindi ma-confirm ang isang tao. I started my work in the commission kasama ng isang commissioner, chairman in fact, na even after multiple attempts at the Commission on Appointments, ultimately, hindi rin na-confirm. Chairman na yun ha, hindi na-confirm. Ganyan ka-powerful ang Commission on Appointments. And over the years, that was back in 2000. And over the years, ang dami ko nang napagdaanan na commissioners na pagpasok, akala ng lahat mako-confirm, pero hindi na-confirm. Maraming pumasok sa COMELEC, even some of them really well-known, na pumasok sa COMELEC pero hindi na-confirm. Okay? There are lots of examples. I'll probably not name them anymore, but there are examples, and some of them you know. Okay? And some of them are very well known. And these are instances when the Commission on Appointments proved to be too hard to handle for them. No? Impossible to hurdle. Okay? So, nangyayari yan. So, ultimately, kung sino yung commissioner na appoint at na-confirm ng commissioner appointments, ang bit-bit na authority niyan, hindi lamang authority galing sa appointing power, kundi rin doon sa consensus ng commission on appointments, which again is composed of people from both sides of the aisle. Hindi lamang kaalyado. Okay? So, will fairness rule even if the commissioners are all appointed by one person? Yes, absolutely. And it has. We've seen it in the past and we will see it again. Okay? So, I hope these three topics have been, again, like I said, been very very much talked about on social media na nakaraang mga linggo. And so I hope nagkaroon tayo ng konting clarity tungkol dyan. If there are any questions, we'll tackle them after the break. Thank you very much.
Hindi ako makapagparehistro kasi yung parents mo nga hindi bumoboto. Ako pa kaya?
Hindi ako makapagparehistro kasi nakakatamad, tsaka wala akong pamasahe.
Hindi ako makapagparehistro kasi may pasok lagi.
Hindi ako makapagrehistro kasi wala akong kasama.
Hindi ako makapagparehistro kasi baka mahirapan lang ako.
Hindi ako makapagparehistro. Ayaw akong payagan ni ma'am.
Hindi ako makapagparehistro kasi ang dami ko inaalaga ang anak. Tsaka hindi ko alam kung paano.
Hindi ako makapagparehistro dahil
Hindi ako makapagparehistro
kasi hindi ako makapagparehistro
Sa bagay, bakit naman kayo magpaparehistro? Busy kayong tao, hindi ba? Bakit naman kayo maglalaan ng oras para magparehistro? Hayaan nyo na lang na ibang tao ang bumoto o pumili ng ating mga leader. Mula barangay hanggang Malacanang. Pwede namang maging walang pake, hindi ba? Bakit? Concern nyo ba kung palpak ang pamumuno ng mga taong nailuklok sa pwesto? Pakialam nyo ba kung hindi magandang serbisyo na ibinibigay sa taong bayan ng mga halal na opisyal na yan? Total, hindi naman kayo maaapektuhan, hindi ba? Hindi nga ba? Kapag nagkalat ang basura sa kalye dahil naging pabaya ang palakad sa lungsod, pangit tingnan, mabaho, pagmumulan parang sakit, hindi ba perwisyo rin sa'yo yun? Kapag nahirapan ka magsimula ng negosyo dahil sa mga palpak na pulisiya ng LGU, hindi ba't talo ka dun? Kapag ninakaw ang pera ng bayan ng mga hinalal na opisyal, hindi ba't pera mo rin yun? Pero kung may pakialam ka sa nangyayari sa ating bansa, kung gusto mo ring magkaroon ng boses sa mga isyong hinaharap natin, at kung gusto mo maging bahagi sa pagpili kung sinong dapat na mamuno sa atin, alam nyo na ang dapat nyong gawin. #magparehistro ka.
Teka, wait. Pwede na ba ako magparehistro?
Kung ikaw naman ay 18 years old and above, maaari kang magparehistro bilang regular na botante. Hindi na kailangan magparehistro ang rehistrado na.
Paano magparehistro?
Ayun ba? Madali lang. Una, pumunta sa opisina ng election officer sa munisipyo o syudad kung saan kayo nakatira. Para sa mga aplikanteng senior citizen, persons with disability, at heavily pregnant women, may itatalagang express lane para sa inyo. Magdala ng valid ID para maberipika ang inyong pagkakakilanlan at bilang katunayan na rin na kayo ay residente ng inyong lugar. Matapos ito, mag-fill out ng 3 kopya ng application form. Kukunan din kayo ng biometrics gamit ang voter registration machine. Matapos ito, ibibigay sa inyo ang acknowledgement receipt bilang patunay na nag-apply kayo for registration. So ano pang hinihintay nyo? Magparehistro na! Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, bisitahin ang www.comelec.gov.ph at mga social media accounts ng COMELEC. Isang paalala mula sa COMELEC at ng himpilang ito.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you very much. If you're still here, maraming salamat po. We're gonna answer questions and then we're gonna take you on a tour of the comments section. Masaya eh. Masaya yung comment section natin. Okay, so first question. From I Am Bitch Monster. I think, ano ba to? Facebook ba to or from Twitter? Tanong niya, how can we ensure that there will be peaceful and honest election this upcoming 2022 NLE, especially now that we are in automated elections? Okay, that's a very good question. I am Bitch Monster. We've had automated elections since 2010, di ba? 2010, 2013, 2016, 2019. 4 elections spanning from 2010 hanggang 2020, spanning 20 years. In that time, I am Bitch Monster, nagkaroon na tayo ng daan-daan na protesta. Ni minsan, wala pang isang protestang nanalo dyan. Wala pang protesta na, nakapagpatunay na dinaya sila. Ang dami nagsasabing dinaya sila, pero wala pang napapatunayan. Now, question ko sa'yo, after 20 years, wala pang napapatunayan kahit sino? Maniniwala ka pa rin na may dayaan? O may problema na kaya yung mga nag-aakusa? Ang problema kasi sa halalan, lalo na sa Pilipinas, medyo mahirap tanggapin ang pagkatalo. At pag natalo ka, ang pinakamadaling dahilan is to say na nadaya ka. Bakit? Kasi hindi ka mapapaya dahil dinaya ka naman Attack the officiating officers. No? Attack the referee, ika nga. Parang pag nag-i-exam ka sa eskwela, tapos bumagsak ka, pagagalitan ka ng nanay mo, ano sasabihin mo? Sasabihin mo bang hindi ka nag-aral? Hindi. Sasabihin mo, ay hindi, nay. Galit yung teacher namin sa amin, kaya lahat kami bagsak. Or lahat kami mababa. Ako nga lang pumasa Ganyan ka pa. That's the reality of the situation. Sa lahat ng halalan, sabi nga dito sa Pilipinas, 2 lang ang kandidato, yung nanalo at natalo. Yung nanalo at nadaya. And kaya, merong perception na yung mga halalan natin ay hindi malinis. Pero yung perception na yan ay malayo sa katotohanan. Because again, the truth of the matter is from 2010 hanggang ngayon, wala pang isang protesta na nagpapatunay na may dayaang nangyari. Okay? In fact, in 2019, in 2016 and 2019, dalawang magkasunod na halalan yan, ang credibility rating ng ating halalan ay nasa 80% pataas. Right? Which means people saw that the elections were actually peaceful, that the elections were actually honest. Okay? So itong paniniwala na to na duda kayo na magkakaroon ng peaceful or honest election dahil automated elections. Wala pong pinanggagalingan yan kundi yung PR spin ng mga pinakamaingay, no? And again, karapatan ng mga tao magduda, walang problema diyan. Pero ang sinasabi ko, tingnan natin yung facts on record. Yun ang mahalaga. Okay? Because hindi mo pwedeng gamiting batayan ng success ng elections yung kung merong nagrereklamong dinaya. Because again, it's so prevalent in the Philippines na joke na nga yan 'di ba? Lahat ng natatalo dito nadadaya. Okay? Everyone knows that. And it's the same thing, no? So, kapag ganyan ang sitwasyon, meron magsasabing nadadaya, yan ang pinipick up, yan ang napag-uusapan. So, misleading po yan. So, be aware. Again, from 2010, 13, 16, and 19, 4 automated elections in total, hundreds of protests filed, none of them have succeeded. So, merong track record yung ating elections na malinis at hindi nadadaya. Okay? From Adrian Kadapan, if face-to-face campaigning is allowed, would there be any regulations or changes in the quad media platforms? Malamang, oo. First of all, dun sa face-to-face campaigning, it is possible that there will be some restrictions on what a candidate can and cannot do, obviously. Dati, early days, no, pinag-uusapan dito yung ban on campaigning. Obviously, malabo yan. Marami masyadong taong umaasa sa face-to-face events para makita yung kanilang mga kandidato. So, it's unlikely na magkaroon ng ban on physical campaigning. But there will be restrictions. Ano yung mga example ng restrictions? Well, definitely magkakaroon ng limitasyon sa dami ng taong pwede mag-attend. No? Magkakaroon ng restrictions in how these events are conducted. Halimbawa, kung dati pwede kayong magkamayan, pwede kayong magdikit-dikitan sa mga parade grounds or sa luneta halimbawa, ngayon kailangan may social distancing measures na. at iaatang natin dun sa organizers yung responsibility for that. The organizers themselves have to be responsible to make sure that their events are safe for the attendees. No? So marami pang ganyan. And COMELEC will coordinate with IATF para masiguro natin na talagang logical at doable yung mga gusto nating mangyaring restrictions. Doon naman sa quad media platforms, yes, obviously kailangan nating luwagan yung social media campaigning rules. Ewan ko kung ano pang iluluwag niya, sobrang luwag na nga ngayon because again, katulad ng premature campaigning, medyo ang legal landscape dito medyo sparse, no? Walang laws pertaining to social media use for political campaigns. Wala pa rin. We've been asking for that every elections, pero hanggang ngayon wala pa rin. So we will have some new regulations that are intended to, number one, make sure na masundan natin yung pera so that makapag-report ng election spending ng maayos. At pangalawa, hopefully, na ma-increase yung access ng mga other candidates doon sa mga platforms na gagamitin natin. Okay? Stay tuned for that. Should an ECQ come to the election week, would it delay the election day? No. Again, it will not. Taking off from what I said earlier, we see no reason to postpone the elections. Now, some people are saying, but the COMELEC has the power to call a failure of elections, di ba? Kunyari, binaha or nasunog yung polling place or in more general terms, when the conditions for free and fair elections are not possible, no, or free and fair elections are not possible. None of these things are connected to COVID. Okay? Kahit may COVID dyan, kahit ongoing ang COVID pandemic, measures can and have been put in place to make sure that free and fair elections are still possible. Again, magsususpend lang ang COMELEC ng elections, magtatawag lang ang COMELEC ng failure of elections kapag hindi makaboto yung mga tao physically. Okay? Kapag hindi sila makaboto physically. Pero hanggat pwede, hanggat kaya, pwedeng tumuloy ang elections. And again, like I said, sa ngayon nakikita ng COMELEC, walang dahilan para mapostpone ang elections. From Mr. Marco Corpus Balatico, can we get a voter certificate in COMELEC under the MECQ? Sa ngayon, suspended pa ang issuance ng voter certificates. Thank you. Let's move on. From JPS Villanueva, good evening. Is there any legislative move right now that premature campaigning will be punishable by law? Ayun, merong may bill na sinubmit yung isang senador na nagsasabi na dapat pag-file mo ng COC or Certificate of Candidacy, dapat kandidato ka na kaagad. That will help. Pero wala pang counterpart yun sa House. So sa Senate pa lang. And as far as I know, wala pang hearing yun. From Harvs, Santiago, dapat po lahat may premature campaign propaganda and materials i-disqualify sa candidacy. Well, yan ang gusto natin mangyari, pero wala kasi tayong legal basis for that. Yun ang problema dyan. Walang legal basis. And COMELEC does not have that power. And COMELEC should not have that power. Okay? Because, think about it, again, nasasabi natin yan kasi meron tayong political views. Pero if those political views, if that power is given to the COMELEC, and if it were applied against a person that you like, even you would complain about it. Okay? Why? Because it is not right. Unfair talaga yan. Hindi dapat magkaroon ng ganyang klaseng kapangyarihan ng COMELEC. COMELEC has to be rules-based. Kailangan may batas. And unless the laws change, walang puwang ang COMELEC to basically legislate through resolutions. Walang ganun. Extended ng ECQ, so close pa rin ng NCR+. Sorry. Okay. Ana, wala ng questions. Okay, wala na. Okay, so I promised to take you on a tour of the comment section. So let's do that. Let's look at the comment section. Okay? Let's sabi ni Ombi Fernandez, wala nang maniniwala sa yup. Okay. Right, Ombi. Pero you're watching the broadcast, right? So that's good. Okay. Si Zotikash, what is that? Zotikash season gives me thumbs down. All right. Okay, good. Si John Cruz is asking outside NCR, we will come up with the proper announcement for the treatment of areas outside of NCR. Okay? Pero in general, kung saan ECQ, walang registration. Okay? Walang operations. Sabi ni Ombi, ha, takot ka kay Glenn Chong, hindi makasabot ng tama. Asan? Oh, sabi niya, gago daw ako. This is the kind of comments that we get, no? Si Lailani Calvadores, may mukha ka pang ihaharap sa taong bayan. Oo, bakit? May nagawa ba ako sa'yo, Lailani? Ombi Fernandez, totoo naman na may dayaan. Meron nagtatry magdayaan, definitely. Hindi natin makakailayan. Maraming nagsusubok. Pero ang question is, may nadadaya, may nagagawa ba? The thing about dayaan is, ang dayaan nagaganap yan both, at least in general, no? Pwede mong dayain yung botante through vote buying, through intimidation. Yes, nagaganap pa rin yan. Pero meron ding dayaan na nagaganap after na nakaboto na yung tao. Okay? Yun yung sinasabi na wholesale cheating, no? Diyan, ang tinatarget dyan, yung pagpe-prepare ng mga election returns. Dati nagagawa yan, nangyayari yan bago mag-automation. Pero magmula nung nag-automate tayo ng 2010, yung proseso ng paghahanda ng election returns, naging automated na, naging sobrang bilis na wala ng pagkakataon ng mga taong mandaya kahit gusto nila. So nag-focus sila doon sa pandaraya nila, doon sa pagta-target ng mga botante. Okay? So yung mga botante ngayon ang ginagawa nilang target ng kanilang cheating, and yes, that is still a form of cheating. Okay? And that's still a problem. Pero hindi yan kasalanan ng automated election system. O sana ako daw ang kapitan ng COVID. Thank you, Lailani. It's things like that really inspire me. O sabi naman ni Ao Tanarahay. That's a very authentic name, no? Tae mo Jimenez, sana sino maniniwala sa iyo bakit tumakas si Bautista kundi kayo ng daya tarantado? I'm sure alam mo kung sinong nanalo ng eleksyon na pinatakbo ni Bautista. So anong pandaraya ang sinasabi mo? Obviously, meron kang kailangan patunayan. Sabi na naman ni Lailani, buhay na buhay. Resign ka na, wala nang tiwala ang bayan sa'yo. Okay. Huwag ka maniwala sa akin. Sabi ni Ombi, mukha mo wala pang dayaan, nangyari suspect na. Yeah. Kung anong hinala siyang gawa, di ba, dude? Oo. Bakit hindi niyo sagutin na sinagot na ng tama si Glenn Chong? Ang dami nang congressional hearing ang pinagdaanan eh. Di ba? Nandun siya, nandun kami. O nagpaliwanag, ilang beses na yan. So hindi totoo yan sinasabi mo ha? Fake news ka, dude. Alright? Are there any other questions? Wala na. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, maraming salamat. Thank you for keeping us company. And I haven't been able to check Twitter. Parang wala man nangyari sa Twitter. Walang question. Wait, I did see some questions on Twitter kanina. Nah, can't find it anymore. Anyway, so until next time, I hope you guys took the opportunity to reflect this Holy Week, and tomorrow is Easter. So again, congratulations to us for making it through another day, and hang in there.
Radyo COMELEC sa Quaran Talk.